We are live. Good morning. That's how I. Welcome. It's David, and today is the 30th of August, and the last 3 days of August will always have my attention because 13 years ago, yesterday, my youngest son Sam and Kimberly uh, got married, and we're celebrating their 13th anniversary yesterday. And my message to them was that I am elated that their life partnership has now lasted longer than Sam's mother and I, our life partnership relationship. And so 13 years ago, when we were in Knoxville, Tennessee for the wedding, on the 30th, today's date, 13 years ago, my other son, Jordan, Jordan and Sam are 369 days apart in age. Uh, that's why I called him Jor Sam over the years. Jordan was graduating from the Ohio State University, and because he was in Knoxville for his brother's wedding, he was missing the graduation. So I told him that if because he made that supreme sacrifice, I would sponsor a a brunch on that Sunday morning for anybody that he wanted to be there. So it just so happens that because he and Sam were so close in age, and they actually from the fifth grade on were in the same grade. They had a lot of similar friends. So we had a Sunday morning brunch party with 50, probably close to 50 folks were there. Then tomorrow, the 31st, rather a bizarre memory, is the birthday of a woman who I thought was my angel sent from God 13 years ago. And her birthday is actually was on the 31st, still is on the 31st. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I am. I think I am of the A. I think that she. Well, I'm not going to tell her. I'm not going to share what I think her age is because I might be wrong, and I only want to tell you the right thing. She is younger than I am, and I think that means her birthday is a big number, major number. Not big, not. It's a major number in one's life. So, August, those the last 3 days of August, always important to me. Uh, I want to share an experience that I had yesterday, and it was probably the first time in at least 10 years that I have had a face to face business meeting because, as I was reminded in a phone discussion with Tom, who I met yesterday, uh, I was last a member of the Cincinnati Chamber. I think we were called the Cincinnati Chamber of Commerce. I think that's what we were called back then. It has a different name now. Regional Chamber, USA, Cincinnati USA Regional. It's a very complicated name. At any rate, I went into cyberspace 14 years ago, I guess. I know, and uh, I did not have many opportunities from that point on to have face-to-face business meetings. So I was really looking forward and excited about yesterday's 9 o'clock in the morning meeting with uh, Thomas Deere, and his official title is Vice President, Sales and Engagement. And as I told him in our first phone conversation last Thursday, uh, I was very intrigued by the fact that he had the word engagement in his title associated with sales. So I went uh, prepared to the meeting uh, with engagements, possible engagements. I sent a video email to Tom on last Friday, so that he could uh, do some vetting about me before our meeting. And I sent him a video email, and in my in the signature area of my email, there are a lot of links to web landing pages that I have created. I think I have five, or I think I have six links, maybe seven links on that page, six, whatever, that go to web landing pages that I created. And that was one of the concepts that I wanted to discuss. That was one of the engagements I wanted to bring to the chamber from my side of the table. And he absolutely viewed at least parts of three of those videos based upon questions that he was asking me in the course of our 90-minute conversation. It was a fun meeting. I indeed brought engagements from my side. We actually were sitting. We weren't in his office. We were sitting in the main conference room of the chamber with this huge table, and I said, the expectation is that you don't sit at that end of the table and I sit at this end. He said, no, we'll sit across from one another. And we had it was a great meeting. I wanted to share my engagements because they are very. Uh, I was actually sharing dreams of mine that I've had in the last years, about things that I would like to do with other businesses, and probably smaller businesses as opposed to larger ones. But now anybody can be in the mix. Uh, that um, well, the first thing I did, and I actually have taken a pledge, an oath that I'm going to I actually do a video recording of it at least once every year since I took the pledge, which was in 2010, I believe. I have to look at how I first took it in, somewhere around. I was one of the first 3,000 people to take the entrepreneur pledge that was developed by the Kauffman Foundation in Kansas City. And so I told Tom that I would be very, very happy that, time permitting, any member of the chamber, big business or small business, uh, could request a 19-minute maximum marketing and sales triage that I would do with them on their business. I think I do a wonderful triage, marketing sales triage, and I offered that as a service to the chamber voluntarily. That's something that I want to do, and they have in cyberspace. I actually was when I put the concept together. I was trying to figure out if it made sense on in a Zoom room uh, to uh, to do that. Actually, it wasn't that one. It was the next one I'm going to tell you about. So that was number one. Number two, um, I've always wanted to have a situation where it would be a well because I used to do this. Not I used to do something similar to this years ago when I was in the chamber. I wanted to I wanted to look differently than it did then. Now predicated upon where I am today and what I'm doing, and so I proposed to Tom that I during a lunch I get out in the room, table to table, and if anybody has a marketing and sales challenge that they would like to present for open discussion, I will do a 3 sentence triage of the challenge. Then I will pass it on to a group of other chamber members who are marketing and sales oriented, and let them then go into a more detailed uh, so, explanation solution to the challenge that was being presented. And I, I think Tom liked that idea because I saw him take some notes. And then the other thing that I wanted to do, uh, I've always wanted to do this, and this I didn't think it would work as well in cyberspace as it's going to work in once again a room where there are real people face to face in real time. Uh, there's 2 circles of folks, and it's business networking because that's what the chamber is about. It's about business. So there's an inner circle, there's an outer circle. The inner circle moves, the outer circle stays stationary. Each time you meet up with somebody, there is a 5 or 6 minute interchange. The inner circle will start the conversation with 3 compelling statements, either about themselves, about their business, something that will get the attention of the individual across from them. The other individual will then have the opportunity to ask questions or whatever, however they choose to use their time. But the end result of each 5 or 6 minute session must be a definition of next steps. What are the next steps between these 2 parties? If there aren't, well, what are the next steps? So that the expectations and understandings of the business collaboration move forward together, uh, communicate with one another, or there wasn't the right business chemistry. However, some things that were said, you want to then say, well, um, if I find somebody, if I network with somebody, if I meet with somebody, and your particular area of expertise is needed, I'll make sure I mention your name. And once again, Tom was taking notes. And by the way, I just sent Tom 10 minutes ago, actually 15 minutes ago, a uh, summary of our meeting yesterday. We had a lot of there were. It wasn't just about business. About 50% were personal kinds of things, family things that he and I exchanged, and there was an amazing level there uh, as parents, and we just had a really fun. Uh, I did. I think Don did because he was smiling. 90 minutes interaction, and I told him I have another thing that I have thought about since yesterday's interaction with Tom that I would only discuss. I would brainstorm with him the next time he and I were together was something I didn't want to initiate in a video. Third thing I'd like to briefly share with you yesterday, um, a headline from the Washington Post uh, caught my attention, and I did a Facebook posting, and I don't have access to the headline, uh, but I do remember the top. The headline concept was Lindsey Graham saying that if there is prosecution against Trump, that there will be rioting in the streets. Lindsey Graham was quoted as saying that there was a video quoting him saying that. And my response, my Facebook posting, and I am very apolitical. I can identify. I can a little bit identify with things going on, but the way things happen in Washington and politics, not the right things are happening. There's some right things happening, but there's too much craziness. Well, I posted that, and a woman read it, and she commented on it, and she said, "Well, the GOP is not going to nominate him, allow him to run for president." And I found that response very interesting, and I responded to that statement saying that um, I don't think. Uh, I think what you were more likely to see is an alliance of some sort between Trump and Graham. And I said to Graham, he ought to be ashamed of himself for making that statement. And I then further said in my reply that the real thing that needs to be considered are how are his constituents, the folks from South Carolina, how are they reacting to the statement that their senator made? That's more important than what's going to happen in the future. Uh, it was I couldn't believe I was hearing, watching uh, on film, not live, a senator making that statement. Such is life. Thank you for almost 19 minutes of your time today. And hope you have some things you can take away. If at any time you want to interact with me, at the bottom of the page under the fold, there is a contact David form. Uh, your name, your email address, what the comment is. Uh, I prefer video chatting as opposed to texting stuff. Uh, I do it better, and it's more efficient. It's more efficient, and the results are better when there's a video chat as opposed to a texting going back and forth. First and foremost, you're never quite sure with whom you are texting. I have found that to be a major, personally found it to be a major issue in Facebook. I am spending probably 75% less time using Facebook technology than I was a couple weeks ago. I have found a more efficient, not one. I found more efficient ways, technology wise, to do what I need to get done, as opposed to the way uh, Facebook technology directs you. They control the flow of information, and I always found it very difficult to follow their flow. So, be that as it may, we'll see you the next time. And remember, do what you do and love what you do, or you do what you do and love what you do, and it will make for a much happier tomorrow.